What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new Starcraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Darkness Sanctuary LE, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He's currently down in this series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is Snute. In his opponent, spawning the bottom right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to finish off this series right here and right now. His name is MaNa. So guys and girls, this has been a very fun series to say the least so far, and I'm extremely excited to see what happens in this Game 3, because it is a best-of-5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin, and was within the round of 8 of that tournament. So here's what we'll say, is that MaNa has played absolutely incredibly well, especially in the micro game, of just creating so many opportunities for his army, just outsmarting Snute so far. Now we all know though that it does look like MaNa was going to try to get that drone, almost pretty much one shot away from getting that drone. But anyways, it did seem like in the first couple of games, MaNa just outsmarted Snute. I mean, I want to see what Snute, his back is against the wall. He's got to get back in the series. How's he going to do it against MaNa, who is an absolutely, incredible Protoss player? These are two amazing StarCraft 2 pro gamers, by the way. I mean, we all know this, but I gotta say, MaNa has just outsmarted his opponent so far in this tournament, in this game, and really in this series. This game, though, if you're in Snute's position, okay, your back's against the wall, you're playing someone of the likes of MaNa, who's a very good StarCraft 2 player, what do? Do you go for a little bit of some cheese, or do you just play the standard macro-focused game? Snute, I felt like, had significant opportunities in game number 2, especially, to kind of even up the series. MaNa just played a very good, a cheesy game in game number 1 and just obtained victory, but game number 2, playing Snute straight up, still won, 100% straight up. And so in this game, it'll be very interesting to see, can Snute get this series kind of turned around in his favor, or is this going to be one of those ordeals where MaNa just wants to close it out, and closes it out right here and right now? We're about to find out here by both of these players, because we are going to see, of course, the Gateway and as well as the Cybernetics Core Natural Nexuses down, Hatch Gas Pool Opener out of Snute. He is going to go for that third hatchery as well. We're going to see the Metabolic Boost upgrade coming in as well for Snute, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade. But I gotta say, man, it's just this series has been a lot of fun to watch, and just a lot of really great StarCraft 2 games. I mean, that we've been really witnessing lately. I've just been really enjoying watching the games from the WCS in Austin that happened, and it's of course we got a lot more that we got to do, but I just have been really enjoying it. Metabolic Boost is going to be finishing up in less than 5 seconds for Snute, and we're going to also see that Roach Warren is going to be constructed for Snute as well. So we're starting to see kind of the techs of choice. See that Warp Gate is getting close to finishing up here for MaNa, and we're going to see double Stargates. Very interesting. So double Stargates do go down. We also, of course, see the very early Twilight Council went down. So we're going to start seeing very shortly what are both our players going to decide to do here as we are approaching that 4.5 minute mark of this game. Resonating Glaives is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds for MaNa, but here come a lot, or I should say a good handful of Adepts right towards that third base location. Here we go. It does look like they're going to try to pounce right on this Queen. They do get one Queen for their troubles. Could they get a second one? Beautiful play here. Oh my, beautiful play by MaNa. He goes ahead with the shade in to do some damage to those Zerglings. Looks like they did exactly that. Gonna try to get the surround on these Adepts, but a lot of damage is being dealt at this point. And then they go ahead and they shade into the main base location. It's finally cleaned up, but this is what I'm talking about. MaNa is playing this very well. He's been playing this series extremely well so far, and Snute has been playing some good defense as well, but it's just doesn't seem like his offense, the defense isn't translating to the offense for him. So he's really got to do, and he's been trying to get a decent amount of pressure put on his opponent. It looks like a lot of Zerglings are going to try to get the cancel on this third Nexus here for MaNa. But it looks like he's just trying to kind of see what types of damage he can kind of do. But it does look like we are going to see a lot of Zerglings as well as Roaches are trying to make their way. Beautiful force field. That could save the day here for MaNa. A lot of damage is being dealt by MaNa currently. Doing so much damage. Beautiful play here by MaNa. And this is what I'm talking about. The defense, or the offense, is also translating to good defense for MaNa. MaNa is playing this series incredibly well. It's not over yet. Snute's going for that evolution chamber at this point. But man, every time for Snute, every time he's tries doing some sort of getting a little bit aggressive, it is absolutely it is dealt with perfection by MaNa. MaNa is playing out of his mind right now, and it's this is a guy who's an incredible StarCraft 2 player, but just it's so crazy seeing him do this to a player like Snute. I mean, Snute is a very good Zerg player for sure. So very interesting, but nonetheless, another handful of these Adepts are going to start moving up that ramp. They're going to once again try to go ahead and get a lot of these Queens. The Transfusers are coming in, but here come the Adepts. They're going to go into that main base location. It looks like they're going to try to do as much damage as they possibly can. It does look like he is going to try to get a lot of these drones doing a lot of damage so far. Looks like they may very well start target firing. It does not. No, they decide to go ahead and shade down towards the natural expansion, which they are going to try to surround some of these Queens as well as those drones doing a lot of damage. Lots of Queens have been added to the mix here. They are shading back up into the main base location, and once again they're doing a lot of damage to all these drones. The surround comes in by the drones, but so much damage is being dealt here so far by MaNa. Beautiful play here by MaNa. Absolutely incredible play. He is hitting so many areas by shading just perfectly, and it's hurting Snute so much because he's just he's losing out on so many drones. 27 in total. Just unbelievable. Beautiful play here by MaNa. And this is textbook Protoss play. I would recommend, if you guys are a Protoss player, or that's the specific race that you play as when you play StarCraft 2, I would highly recommend looking over MaNa's builds and his build orders, and maybe, you could definitely learn something from him. And you can learn something from all of these pro gamers, Snute included, who really have some really interesting and unique builds, but also just the beautiful micro and just how they can macro up a bigger and bigger force as time goes. So MaNa, it does look like, even though, of course, the supply count is in favor of Snute, Snute has lost a lot of units as far as just his economy is concerned. The economy of MaNa is just booming right now, and so I gotta say he's got a really nice lead over Snute. And so it does look like now, charge is being researched. We're seeing those +1 upgrades are going to be started out of that forge. We're going to see 2 immortals popping out at a time out of the robotics facilities. So this is where it's just going to start getting extremely scary. Now, 4th base is being constructed now for Snute, and we are starting to see this creep spread is starting to get a little bit out of hand. Charge and ground weapons level 1 are going to be finishing up here in a few seconds. But this, I mean, I gotta say, the creep spread, Snute is very good at spreading. I mean, this guy can spread the creep spread like nobody's business. It's gonna be at MaNa's front doorstep very shortly here. But the High Templars are being added on. You got the Sentries, which of course, I mean, it's a very similar unit composition to what we saw in game number 2. So I just wonder. I mean, we're seeing the Hydra Den is being added on. I mean, the switch up that's coming in is gonna, that's coming out of Snute is gonna be none other than the Swarm Host. So the Swarm Hosts are gonna be coming out here, and I actually like this decision a lot to be getting the Swarm Host. But here we go. That fourth Nexus is gonna be started here, and now that Snute knows about this, I would assume he's not gonna allow this just to happen. Got to be very careful. It does look like a lot of units are going to start moving out. Oh, those force fields come in. Got to be very careful. Now, it does look like we are going to see, oh, going to see all of these locusts are going to start trying to push this army composition back home. It does look like that is going to be the case. But the locusts, you know, now that the swarm hosts have been seen, you got to be very careful, at least at this point. Now, we are going to see, of course, a lot of these units are going to start moving out once again. Snoot's got to be careful. He does not want to lose these swarm hosts. I mean, you lose these swarm hosts. They are so heavy on supply. Got to be so careful. Hive is being researched right now. We're being morphed as we speak. And then the +2 is going to be coming in now for MaNa. MaNa does not want to wait much longer. He wants to go after a lot of these units. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to be doing. He's got a lot of units that are starting to move out. I shouldn't say a lot, but I should say they are very difficult units to deal with, to say the least. Those are Immortals as well as Archons. The High Templar are starting to be added on, as well as a lot of these Zealots. Here we go. The storms are coming down on all those locusts. Oh my god, the amount of destruction MaNa is doing right now. He's got to be very careful, though. The question is he going to be overextending at this point? The swarm hosts are like fleeing to their deaths right now. So many drones are being destroyed as well. Zerglings are going to be coming out, as well as Hydras and Roaches, and it looks like finally MaNa is pushed back, but there is going to be some reinforcements. We are going to see a lot of these units are starting to move back home, but 4 bases. I mean, that's all I can say is 4 bases are coming out. Now, a lot of these swarmos are going to be coming over towards MaNa's side of the map. He's got to be very careful how he's going to deal with this, because there is a lot of units here, and it looks like Snute is smelling blood. He wants to go after this, gets the surround on the Archon, and now he's going to go try to bang into the main base, or I should say the natural base location. Got to be very careful about the extension here. Beautiful storms coming in here. You got to be really careful. Snute is treading on some very deep water. You got to be extremely careful. You do not want to overextend whatsoever. It looks like some of these locusts are going to be caught off guard, and the counterattack does not seem to have been able to do a whole lot. He is chasing down queens as well as these swarm hosts. You got to be so careful when you decide to counterattack. Here we go. It does look like MaNa is going to have to back off, at least for the time being. But I just gotta say, I mean, what a back and forth battle right now. As we are passing that 13-minute mark in this game, it's looking pretty, I mean, relatively even, but at the same time, so much of the supply for Snute is caught up in the swarm host. So the question is you've got this you know, a good amount of really strong units by MaNa, and he keeps on threatening to do a lot more damage. And if he catches this army off guard, it could spell absolute disaster if he's able to catch these swarm hosts off guard, and that's what it looks like he might very well. He's got to be very careful. These locusts are going to try to do as much damage as possible. Looks like he is going to go ahead and land some storms on this unit composition, but those locusts are going to try to do as much damage as possible, not doing a whole lot, at least as of yet. But these swarm hosts got to, you know, they got to be very careful. Do not want those to be just out on the map. Can end up really losing out. If you lose out on these swarm hosts, it could spell the end of this game. But I gotta say, Snoot's still not out of this game just yet. A lot of damage is coming in now to this third base location. Also, damage is going to be coming in with the drop by MaNa. But here we go. These swarm hosts are starting to get surrounded by these zealots. You got to be very careful. The storms come in. Those storms are doing a lot of damage. These zealots are just having free range of those swarm hosts. Here we go. It looks like once again these Hydralisks are going to most likely be enough to take on all of these Immortals. But my god, so much damage is being dealt here on both sides. We are seeing a fifth base coming in now for MaNa. And so MaNa is just slowly but surely just building up a bigger and bigger, economy, just booming economy at this point. He's got a lot of High Templars at this point as well that are out on the playing field. So this is very interesting. I mean, this unit compositions just very, I don't know, man. It does look like once again Snute is going to try to do as much damage as he possibly can. He is doing a decent amount of damage in the natural base location, but is it going to be enough? Because these High Templar are just having absolute heyday with all of these units. Once again, GG is called, and MaNa somehow, some way is able to 3-0 Snute in a best-of-5 series. As I said, that was played at the WCS in Austin, and he advances to the next round. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Snute and MaNa, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.